choose to keep God's laws and commandments. And one of his commandments, which they don't teach you in the Christian church, is to keep the Sabbath day holy. They always bring up the 10 commandments, right? Right? But they don't, they leave out the 4th commandment, which is keeping the Sabbath day holy. You never thought about that, right? And they did this to us because we broke God's law, statutes, and commandments, man. That's why, go back to Exodus 20 and 5.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them.
Wait, go to 8, my bad.
Verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
It said, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Remember I said earlier that he said remember because he knew that we would forget it, right? So let me show you something. Give me Jeremiah 17 and 4, okay? Because the Lord said that we would be scattered because of our disobedience. We would be scattered across the 4 corners of the earth, right? So when you scatter a group of people and you change their name and they forget who they are, then eventually they'll forget, right? That's why we don't know how to keep the Sabbath day holy. That's why you don't know. That's why we didn't know before we came into this truth. All right, read.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
It said we would discontinue from our heritage that the Lord gave us. This is something that he gave us. You get what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. That's why we have forgotten who we are according to the Bible, and we forgot how to keep the Sabbath day holy. You understand?
Hey, John.
Give me Malachi 2 and 7. Because this is something that the pastors are supposed to be teaching us.
Right.
But they're not teaching us this. You know? They preach for hire.
Right.
They preach for money. They preach for gain. That's it. You know? If you're not giving tithes and offerings, the church won't help you at all. All right, read that.
Malachi chapter 2 and verse 7. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge.
It says the priest's lips should keep what?
Knowledge.
Should keep knowledge. Knowledge of what? The scriptures. The laws. Why? Because, read.
And they should seek the law at his mouth.
Why?
For he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts.
It said he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts. So the pastors in the Christian church, they're the ones that are supposed to be teaching us the laws of God. So that way we can follow them. So that way we can get back on top where we're supposed to be. But they're not doing that. They're not doing that at all. And that's why we're out here. You understand? That's why we're out here. Okay? So now you know how to keep the Sabbath day holy, right? So that means no buying, no selling, no cooking, and no working, right? You know that. You're aware of that now, right? So give me Ecclesiastes 12:13. All right? Because our whole mission on this earth is to keep God's commandments. There's nothing else for us on here but to keep his commandments. Because if we keep his commandments, then we have the right to live forever. Read.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments.
It say, fear God and keep his commandments. How do we fear God, Ricky? Huh? Keeping his commandments. You're absolutely right. Give me that. In Psalm 119 or Psalm 111 and 10. You're absolutely right. We keep his commandments. That's how we fear God. Read.
Psalms 111 and verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
It says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So your wisdom, it only starts when you start fearing the Most High. Read.
A good understanding have all they that do his commandments.
And then it says, a good understanding have all they that do his commandments. So that means that your true understanding only starts when you keep his commandments. And that's an action behind it. It said, all they that what?
that do his commandments.
That do his commandments. Keeping the Sabbath day holy is something that you have to do, right? Because in order to break it, what do you have to do? You got to go buy something. You got to go sell something. You have to cook. You got to go work. It's action behind it, right? So you say you believe in God, right? Okay, give me Sirach 32:24. Because if you believe, then you have to do what he's asking you to do.
Right.
And there's no harm in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, keeping his commandments are not grievous to us. Not buying and selling on the Sabbath day doesn't hurt you in any way. It doesn't. Right? Not working on this day won't hurt you. You got 6 other days to work. Not cooking won't hurt you. You can eat an apple. You can eat fruits and vegetables, salads on this day. Right? Read what you got.
Sirach, chapter 32 and verse 24. He that believeth in the Lord taketh heed to the commandments.
It say, he that believeth in the Lord taketh heed to the commandments. You say you believe, right, Ricky? So, if I bring up a commandment for you, will you abide by it? I want to show you the things that the pastor isn't teaching you. All right? I'm going to show you the things that the pastor wasn't teaching us when we was in the Christian church, right? But now that we know the truth, we changed when we started keeping God's commandments. Okay? So if I show you one, you say you believe, will you follow it? Okay. Give me, yes sir, read it.
1 Corinthians chapter 11
Start at 1.
and verse 1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ.
It said, now this is Paul talking, right? To the people in Corinth. He said, be ye followers of me, even as I am of Christ. All of us out here in purple, we are followers of Christ. Why are we followers of Christ? Because we follow the law, statutes, and commandments of God. We follow them. Okay? So you want to be a follower of Christ? So that means you got to be a follower of us because we're followers of Christ. Okay? We set a good example, so you should follow our example. You understand? All right, read.
Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things and keep the ordinances as I deliver them to you.
Right. So when you depart from here, I pray that you remember the ordinances that we've shown you, that I've shown you on how to keep the Sabbath day holy. Okay? I pray that you remember that. All right? Read.
But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man.
Right. So it's structure with God. The Christian church doesn't teach structure at all. There's structure and order with God. So he said what?
The head of every man is Christ.
It said the head of every man is Christ. So there's a hierarchy. So our head is Christ. Who's the king? Christ. Right? Read.
And the head of the woman is the man.
And the head of the woman is who?
The man.
What do they teach in this world? In the Christian church, what do they teach? Happy wife, happy life. That's not biblical. It's not biblical at all. What the Bible just said?
And the head of the woman is the man.
So the head of the man is who? Christ. The head of the woman is who? The man. Read.
And the head of Christ is God.
And the head of Christ is God. So it's God, Christ, man, woman. All right? But that's not to say that we don't respect and honor our women. It's just a hierarchy. Okay? The man was created first. All right? Read.
Verse 4. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head.
So, Ricky, what does that mean? What does that mean? What he just said? If you want me to, I can have him read it again. Okay, read it. Read it slow.
Every man
Every man
praying or prophesying.
praying or prophesying. Now, we're prophesying right now, right? Give me, I'm gonna prove it. Give me Revelation 1 and 3. I'm gonna prove it, okay? The Bible says, prove all things, right? So we prove all things by going to the scriptures in the Bible. Read.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 3. Blessed is he that readeth, and that they hear the words of this prophecy.
So this whole book is prophecy. So this is prophecy coming out, right? Now go back to where we was at.
1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 4. Every man pray or prophesy, having his head covered, dishonoring his head.
So what does that mean, Ricky?
That's it. He said, what does that mean, Ricky?
Huh? We're gonna read it one more time for you, and then if you don't get it, I'll explain it, okay?
Every man pray or prophesy, having his head covered, dishonoring his head.
So it said, any man praying or prophesying, remember, this is the book of prophecy, and we're reading out of it, so we're prophesying right now, right? Any man that prophesied with his head covered, dishonoring his head. Remember, we read up above who our head was. The head of man is Christ, right? So when we got our head covered, when we read the Bible, we prophesying, what does that mean? It means we're dishonoring Christ. So what should you do right now, Rick? Huh? Exactly. How should you honor him right now based off of this scripture? Huh? Read it again.
Every man pray or prophesy, having his head covered, dishonoring his head.
So how do you cover your head?
I don't know.
How do you cover your head?
Cover your head.
Is your head covered right now?
How you get on your knees?
So what should you do, Ricky? If you honor Christ, what should you do right now?
I worship God.
Because remember I asked you before, I said, you believe in God? You said, yes, I believe in him. And then you said you would keep one of his commandments if I brought it out to you. So one of his commandments is saying that we shouldn't have our head covered when we're praying or prophesying. So what should you do? You should take your head up. Your head covered. You get what I'm saying? That's what you should do. So do you really believe if you're not doing it? Right? That's something that your pastor should have taught you as well. But your pastor didn't teach you that. All right? Because if you look at all of us out here, our heads aren't covered at all. Whenever we're praying and prophesying, our heads are not covered. Okay? And remember, I read in 1 Corinthians 11 and 1, it said, be ye followers of me as I am of Christ. All right? Well, we're gonna keep it moving, okay? Lord willing, it click eventually, all right? So, you believe in God, so you say, right? Okay, so let me ask you this.
I do.
What's one thing that your pastor told you in regards to the other nations and whatnot? Like, can all nations be saved?
The pastor can't say it. The pastor leave me wrong.
What was that?
God say, walk in the Holy Spirit.
So you say they can, right?
Okay. God say, walk in the Holy Spirit. My pastor leave me wrong.
I'm going to show you something, okay? Because that's what they teach us, but it's not true. There's nowhere in the Bible where you can see that Christ came for all nations.
The biggest ever be the church.
Matthew chapter 15 and verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Right, so these letters aren't read. So that means it's Christ speaking, right? He said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So do you know who the real Israelites are today? You don't. Okay, so let's go back a little bit then, okay? So we can show you who the real Israelites are according to the Bible, okay? So give me Revelation 2 and 9. I'm gonna show you who aren't first. And then I'm going to show you who really are, okay? Because we've been lied to for a long time, okay? But it's time to know the truth. Read.
Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty.
So he said, I know thy works, thy tribulation and thy poverty. Where is poverty right now? Are we not in the lowest estates in every city? They put us in projects.
Cause my son Johnson Todd didn't
They put us in the IUIC wells. You know what I'm saying?
But now I'm rich.
He said we're rich. Why are we rich? We're rich because this belongs to us. The kingdom belongs to us. Read.
And I know the blasphemy of them, which say they are Jews and are not.
Right. He said, I know the blasphemy. That means the lies of them that say they are Jews. Read.
And or not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
Right. So the people that call themselves the Jews today are the synagogue of Satan.
Across the earth, the prophets move. From city streets to distant lands, the message is the same. Israel must rise. Through every quest, every journey, the truth spreads. No border can contain it. No distance can silence it. Our nation lives in every moment. In joy, we celebrate marriages. In sorrow, we honor our dead. On the Sabbath, we gather as one. Families rejoicing together, bound by the commandments of God. Yet are we tried. From the stones in Kenya to the hatred in Montana, we endure as a soldier of the Lord. And still, the mission expands. On the airwaves, on the screens, in every nation under heaven, Israel's voice is heard. We build our communities. We raise our children in royalty. We restore what was broken. We clean what was defiled. We show the world who we are. This is Israel united in Christ. Nation in motion. Nation endures.